Hey y'all, what's up? Chad Wright coming to you here once again on the channel, Team Righteous. Yeah, that's what you're hearing over there. That's Tulip on the dyno again. So Tulip has had the exhaust changed on it, took the street exhaust off of it, put the sidewinder on it. I'm gonna step outside so y'all can still hear me here. But we went from an Aquaprovic street exhaust on the bike to a Voodoo sidewinder. Wanted to test it out, see how it's going to work, and we put it on the dyno yesterday. So on the E85, the air here is terrible compared to how it was last time, so we know that's part of where the power went from a Shinko Stealth to a Shinko hookup. That's where some of the other power went to. So we're giving up, I'd say, at least 5 horsepower with the air and the tire, but the other 5 horsepower we lost, we believe is going to be in the exhaust. Maybe too much exhaust for the little 0304 1000 motor, but well, we're doing some work on it or whatever. Gonna see if we can try a few other things to try to get those numbers back. So we got 2 different things. So one, we tuned on E85 yesterday, made 145 horsepower. Last time we tuned it on E85 made 155 horsepower. So we switched it back over to MR12 yesterday. We tuned it back on MR12. Previously it just had a flash in it. So this is the first time it's ever actually been tuned on MR12. And so we tuned it on MR12 and made 3 more horsepower with it versus E85. There have been some comparison videos where they make about the same amount of horsepower one way versus the other. But with this one, we ended up actually being more horsepower with the MR12 on Scotty's bike. So today, we're gonna try something new. 2 different things. One, the MR12 is in there. We bought it last year, right after I blew my motor up. So I bought some and he got it from me, and then he went and bought another can after that. So right around July or August of last year is when this can of MR12 here was bought. It's in the bike now. We made 148 horsepower with yesterday. So we're gonna make a couple of base runs with that, see how much power it's making today, and then we're gonna switch it out and put some fresh MR12 that was just bought last week and see how much difference there really is in the old MR12 versus new MR12. Everybody says you got to keep the cans locked up tight. It's only good for 2 or 3, a couple of months after you buy it and everything else. So we're fixing to put that theory to the test. And then after that was there, we're going to change the velocity stacks in it. Right now, it's currently got short velocity stacks in it to promote more higher end RPM. And the motor may not be big enough to really demand that. It may be losing velocity actually because of it. So we're gonna put some taller stacks in it, try to see if we can get some more power out of it down low and actually bring the power back into the correct power range with it. So anyways, about to jump on the dyno, see what we can get with it.
He works in a machine shop. He's got those freaking rear sets for.
All right, y'all. So made our first pulls there. Still in the same numbers we were yesterday, 148 horsepower. So we got the fuel changed over on Tulip. Gonna try the fresh fuel, make a couple pulls with it, make sure it's flushed through there and everything, and then we're gonna start seeing if the numbers start picking up any, or if they stay the same as they were yesterday. The shop is a little crowded. We got bikes here, 4-wheelers here, bikes here. This bike right here, actually yesterday was this bike. Over there, the frame there, other parts there, the wreck parts over there. Bike got totaled. Customer that comes from Chicago, y'all seen in the video that come down back in December, done the trans swap and updated the ECU. Well, somebody hit him right before he was supposed to come back about a month ago. So he brought it back to us to make some changes for him, or well, to put it back together for him. And then we're still going to do all the stuff we was going to do to it too. So that'll be coming to you later on. But Logan's working on fixing all this stuff right here back together. Got the motor back in it today. Got the subframe on here ready to go. So should be good to go before long. Anyways, we're about to fire up Tulip, see if we can start making some improvements. right, y'all. So the results are in. This is the very last pull that we made here. Made 147.6. The pull before that was 148.2. So as it creeped up a little bit, I thought, all right, I said we're starting to kind of ease the other way. Maybe it's changing or whatever. Air fuel ratio still looks the same. Everything on it still looks the same. I'm going to pull up the very best run we had out of the 4 just then. So right here, this one. So there you have it.
That's why that was loose.
148.2. 148.2 horsepower. We made 148 earlier. Peak torque, 75.6 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm going to pull up our old MR12, and yeah, here we are. 148 horsepower, 75.9 foot-pounds of torque. So peak torque's the same. Air fuel ratios, it's actually a little bit richer now than what it was before. So it's the question of, you know, it should have been leaner if anything, because it was fresher fuel than the old MR12 was in there. So everything on it's still looking the same. We didn't gain any numbers, nothing of any kind of significance at all. So if you got some MR12 sitting around, it's been sitting around for a little while, I think you're going to be all right on it. So anyways,
if the can was kept shut.
That was sitting outside in my carport for 6 months.
In a closed can.
But in a closed can. So they do have the cans that you get this stuff in, the VP MR12 cans. So I'm going to show this one to you real quick before we get off here. So you come in these cans here. So what you want to do with this can is, one, when you pull this part right here up, you want to be sure to keep it up, because this stuff here is plastic. It starts getting holes in it. It'll start getting air or letting the oxygen that's out of the fuel. So you definitely want to make sure you keep the lid on it, keep it sealed up real good, and don't push this thing up and down because it'll wear it out. So that's some good information. Logan, I'm glad he pointed that out before we got off of here. So you definitely want to make sure with that there. I just happen to have the VP Racing shirt on today. So anyways, appreciate all of y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Hopefully everybody got to learn a little bit of something with this. We all got to learn something with it. We weren't sure, so we went and bought a gallon of fresh fuel just to try it out. Appreciate it, all y'all. Have a good one. See, I thought I forgot about you. I said we was gonna do something with the velocity stacks, and I ended the video, and then it's like, hold up, we gotta do something else. Scott, I did forget, but that's beside the point. So I did forget, actually. I got me energy drink now. I'm trying to get woke up. And that's how I remember where my camera was, because I done lost it within 35 seconds. But anyway, Scotty's over here changing out the velocity stacks here. Let's see what we got going on, Scotty. So what are we taking out?
I'll stick one of these back in there and show if I can get it in there.
Scotty used to not be very camera friendly. I think he's starting to get used to it a little bit. Either that, or I just get on his nerves enough to finally just give into it. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you put these stacks in the right way. Because if you put them in upside down, I would never do that. It would never work. So anyways, I put some in the wrong way the other day. So what we got currently was in the bike just then as we was Dyno tuning it, and he raced with for all last year.
Yep.
So
that's the difference.
Had the short ones last year. And now we're going to try some. These are the stock ones, correct? Mm-hmm. So these, the long ones are the stock ones for this bike, and the short ones are the same ones that are all out of the sides of this end and this end on the 2005 through 2008 GSXR 1000s, and they're the ones that a lot of people change to with the second gen Boosas to try to get more power out of them, up higher RPMs. You really don't usually get more horsepower. It just moves the RPM range further out so it doesn't drop off at the end. But we believe that we're not getting enough velocity in the engine, so the airflow is not got enough ramp or enough tunnel to go down. And so we're going to change these and put longer stacks in it, see what kind of difference we can get with these right here, see if it makes a difference. Hopefully it'll gain some more torque out of it, and maybe it'll pull the RPM range up top back some and actually still peak out and get us a little bit more peak horsepower as well. So we're gonna throw these in here, put them on the bike, and we'll be back at y'all with the results of that once we get them put in and back on the bike. All right, y'all. So the results are in, and this ain't like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning like the election, so we ain't pushing no fake numbers through here. Anyways, so here's the results that we had from whenever we had the short stacks in. We made 75.6 foot-pounds of torque at 8,900 RPMs and 148.2 horsepower at 10,850. So when we swapped out the stacks, changed it around, we moved our peak torque down 600 or 500 RPMs, I believe, no, 600. So we're down to 8,345 RPMs. We picked up 3 foot-pounds of torque, and we also gained about 3 horsepower and moved it further out. And as you see up here at the peak of the run, it's actually still smooth and still pulling all the way out to the end, and the rev limiter is right in here as it just starts to fall off. So definitely made an improvement. So old MR12 versus new MR12, as long as you keep it in a good sealed can, not any difference as we can see on the dyno. And then we changed the stacks out, put longer stacks in it than the shorter stacks. We ended up making more peak torque, more peak horsepower, and we're about in the range as we was last year, or not last year, earlier this year, when we was on the E85 with the Acroprovic exhaust that was on it. So anyways, appreciate all of y'all. Have a good one.